I'm Kate Conroy.
And I'm Vanessa Vitello.
And this is Other People's Business, which is the podcast from the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, which is the largest statewide business association in the country. We release a new episode every other Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. And shout out to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance. They provide home, auto, and workers' comp, and they are the official sponsor of the show. So thank you.
Yeah, so like she said, every other Wednesday, podcast network of your choice, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon's Alexa, anywhere you can get a podcast, we're absolutely going to be there. If you're not into the whole podcast thing, you can't wrap your head around how I'm going to listen to a podcast, download, subscribe, all that. We put this show on YouTube. So youtube.com/NJBIA. We throw all the episodes up there, and we would totally recommend that you check them out there. If you don't want to have to remember, like, when are they new? Was it this week? Was it last week? Subscribe. njbia.org/subscribe. They'll alert you whenever we're new.
Absolutely.
So with us today of DeTorres and DeGeorge family law.
So close.
So close?
So
I'm having a real hard time with this word. DeGeorge?
Yes!
You got it.
DeTorres and DeGeorge.
Yes!
Family law.
Perfect.
Is Rosanne DeTorres. So Rosanne, say hi. Let the audience hear your voice.
Hi.
Hey.
Did you have any trouble finding us
Thanks
today?
for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here.
It's easy to get to.
Trenton.
10 Lafayette, West Lafayette.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have the address memorized.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
parking across the street. Well done.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
And a nice lunch preceded our.
There you go. If you come on the show, you get
free
lunch.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Actually, before you start, we have a third co-host now. Like the new member of our team is our brand new table. If you're watching this on YouTube, Kate determined that it was female. Do you have a name for it?
she's beautiful and blonde, so I think Marilyn.
Marilyn works. Some like it hot. All right. Cool.
Yes, very excited. Okay, so today's icebreaker is pool or beach. And let me just preface this by saying that once upon a time, we did an icebreaker where we said mountains or beach. But in New Jersey, this time of year, we have an even better choice, pool or beach. Like, we live so close to the actual seashore. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of pools in New Jersey. I have, like, at least 2 friends who live in apartment complexes where there is a pool. It's a tough call.
Not a tough call.
It's not a tough call? No. Tell me, what is the...
Beach, of course.
Beach, of course.
Yeah, so beach is the premier place to be in New Jersey in the summertime. Yeah, there's nothing like the shore. I'm pretty expert.
Wait, though. Are you including all the attendant stuff that comes with the beach, like the boardwalk and the sand, or are you just talking about the ocean? Both of you, actually, like for the purposes of your question and your answer.
So, to me, the beach is an experience.
Right.
And it does include a lot of that ancillary stuff.
Right.
The waves, the sound, the sand, the boardwalk, the food, the after thing that we do, the preparation to get there. We have a pretty expert way of going to the beach, even for day trips. We leave the house 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I live out in Hunterdon County, so we want to be on the beach by 8:30, so we get premier seating location.
Totally.
And we spread out, so we... otherwise, if you go to popular beaches like Belmar or Asbury, people will sit right next to you, right on top of you. So we spread blankets around us so nobody can sit next to us.
Bring extra blankets.
Throw some extra stuff on top of them, make it look like somebody went and ran into the ocean. Yeah.
So,
exactly. So
do you bring extra stuff to put on the blanket so it doesn't blow away?
Yeah, well, we anchor them down and we bring snacks and stuff to get us through like 12, 1, maybe 2 o'clock. And then we always leave and go out to like a early dinner, late lunch. Klein's Fish Market in Belmar, so, premier place to go for seafood, or we go to Porta in Asbury. You ever been there? You got to go those places. Yeah, so beach. Pool is smelly water that doesn't make your skin feel good.
Couldn't you argue that the beach water, I'm not going to say smelly, but the taste, you get a mouthful of seawater, that's no fun either.
Why are you swimming with your mouth open?
It always happens by accident. There's a rush. Maybe you'll be talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden there's a wave that comes smack into your face, goes up your nose, goes in your mouth. That's no fun.
Yeah. Chlorine is not a friend to women's hair.
It's not.
Is beach water or seawater a friend to your hair either?
Yeah. It can be, I think. Yeah. So I struggle with this because the beach is my happy place,
Me too.
But I don't like the water because of like what's in it? The jellyfish. Have you heard on Facebook about the new tiny jellyfish that like don't ever come off. They're just awful.
Don't ever come off?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they stick to your skin?
Yeah,
Permanently?
I think so.
It's like a free tattoo?
Something like that.
I didn't hear about that.
It might be like Facebook scare tactics, but I did see something
Maybe.
about that this weekend.
Well, if you read on Facebook, it's got to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, obviously. So I'm a little freaked out by what's in the water that I can't see. But I love the whole beach experience, like the spreading the blanket and lying in the sun, and it is wonderful. The last time I went to Asbury, though, I was very dumb. I forgot how difficult parking can be and how on top of each other you are. I parked 2 miles away. And
you walked?
I walked 2 miles in flip-flops with my backpack and my chair and like all of the
The cooler and everything.
You
Oh
get
my
to the
God.
beach, you're like, well, I'm exhausted.
I'm done, right? I know, it took like, damn, a long time.
You need to get there earlier.
Right. Usually I leave my house by 7:30 in the morning and I'm there by 8. No big deal. Awesome. But I just forgot this one time and I just was really dumb about it. I don't know. But, okay, so the pool, though, you get all of the stuff that you get at the beach, plus I can actually go in the water. You know, like, I don't like the water at the beach because it freaks me out.
jellyfish,
Yeah, the
right?
jellyfish and the sharks and the... Did you see that, like, a shark just attacked somebody off the coast of North Carolina?
I did hear that, yeah. Actually,
I
I,
was
heard
just
there was
there.
one...
You were just there.
The Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Came back on Saturday.
Did you hear about this incident?
Yeah, it was way south of there. Maybe 4 hours from where we were. But yeah, that's pretty common in the Outer Banks.
It's unacceptable.
I've heard that if you punch them in the nose, they go away.
Well, that's what the dad did.
Yeah.
And
it work?
she was, but
Yeah, there you go.
But she lost her leg,
she
right?
lost her leg up to her
Well, you know,
thigh.
like, usually the punch is in response to whatever the shark does. So if the shark bites you and then you punch, I guess you gotta punch first. You gotta be the aggressor in the human versus shark
Preemptive punching.
She
dynamic.
didn't see him coming.
Yeah.
And she was only in waist-deep water.
I didn't hear
So
that.
she's not swimming. Yeah. Yeah, the dad was right there. She's lucky.
So
They have good trauma centers there. They're used to that kind of injury, and they
I don't wanna-
tourniqueted her promptly, and she was in hemorrhagic shock, but she survived.
I don't want to
Because
live.
the artery was severed
Oh my
in
gosh.
her leg. Yeah.
I don't want to live anywhere where they're used to that kind of trauma.
It's like the town in Jaws. It started with an A. I can't. Amity. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That's right.
Oh my god.
I know. I have my concerns about sharks at the beach, but I'm not really there to go swimming. I'm
Okay.
there to just rinse off, get cooled off, get out.
Yeah. We're not going out there.
I'm not swimming out and riding waves anymore. Those days are over.
My understanding of sharks is that they generally don't attack. Like, it's
rare.
Oh, by the way, if you're watching this or listening to this in your car, you're not being pulled over. Those are
Yeah.
the sounds of Trenton.
Sounds of Trenton.
But yeah, my understanding is that, like, they're not aggressive creatures by design. You know, sometimes, like, they get provoked, or I don't know. I'm sure that person didn't provoke the shark, but it's one of those things like getting struck by lightning. Like, you think it happens all the time, but really, like, I'm told sharks are pretty benevolent creatures.
I have a logistics question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the water, everything slows down. Like, you
Right.
can't walk in water as fast as you can walk on land. How can you throw a punch that is effective enough and has enough weight behind it to scare off a shark if you're in water?
Well, I guess you could take your hand and put it flat and, you know, slice through the
like
water
that?
for the most part, and then at
That's
the
a good
last
idea.
second punch. But if you were to do it in the water, I mean, it might be slowed down a little bit, but you'd have more power behind it. Plus, you know, like, the reason it works, I guess, is just because the shark has so many, what do you call those, nerve endings, like, right there. So even just the littlest, like, thing, and it's like, whoa, I want nothing to do with this.
And that's what I'm thinking too, because once that shark latches down on the leg, she's screaming, she's jumping up, trying to get away. The shark could very well be mostly out of the water. She was only in waist deep water.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a lot of water going on.
Oh my god.
So,
So scary.
yeah, but I wouldn't be dissuaded from going to the beach because of sharks.
Yeah, it's super,
beach.
super rare. Yeah.
Yeah, the beach
That's why
is
you
just-
hear about it, because it's such a big thing that, like, whoa, this happened. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And in the Outer Banks, is such a different experience from the Jersey Shore. The beaches are virtually empty.
Really?
I could show you a picture on my phone and of a panoramic view of the beach. There was like another family maybe 30 feet away, and then the next family was like half a mile away.
Wow.
But there's no lifeguards.
Oh.
It's not a guarded beach, so you definitely don't want to go too far.
It's like a free-for-all. Wild West.
For what it's worth, I'm going to go, like, I love them both.
Okay.
I was a competitive swimmer for most of my life, so I love the pool, but I like the beach. I'm going to come up with the cop-out answer. Here's where it is. The wave pool. Because the wave pool is everything you love about the beach, the waves and, the
Where's there one of those?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to look. Yeah, they have them at a lot of amusement parks and stuff like that, but it's been a long time since I've been in one of those either. But you get all of that without the seawater, without the jellyfish, without the seashells on the ground that you put your foot on and that hurts.
Yeah.
Parking fiasco.
The parking fiasco.
Well, I mean, usually at an amusement park you're going to have the same problem.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe if you can find a place that has a wave pool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Rosanne, tell us about DeTorres and DeGeorge family law.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Off air, I had a lot of trouble with this. This is why they're giving me...
It's not pizza.
Yeah.
It's not pizza.
What was I saying?
DiGiorno.
Because I'm combining them like DeGeorge, yeah.
DeGeorge.
DeGeorge.
DeGeorge. Funny.
Yes.
Anyway, tell us about it.
So we are a boutique family law and divorce firm.
Oh.
We have 2 offices, one in Hunterdon and one in Morris County. There's 5 attorneys, including myself, and 5 support staff, bunch of paralegals, and all we do is family law and divorce. We have a good track record for settling cases.
When you say and divorce, what is outside of divorce
I
and
always
family
think of
law?
family law and divorce is the same thing. What's the difference?
Well, those 2 things are the same thing, but family law encompasses a lot more than just divorce. So family law could be issues relating to kids, parenting issues, custody, child support, alimony or spousal support, the distribution of assets and debts, if people are getting divorced that own businesses, the distribution of businesses, executives that have executive compensation packages like restricted stock or stock options, the distribution of those assets. After people get divorced, things go wrong, people don't do what they're supposed to do, circumstances change, so we get involved in what we call post-judgment applications, modifications, enforcement actions. We do adoptions. We represent same-sex couples in divorcing, college issues, things like can't agree on who should pay for college for kids, all of that kind of for divorcing couples. We represent parents that are never married, but they have children in common. So family law covers a lot more than just married people getting divorced.
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never really considered that. Cool.
Yeah.
And so we've had a few attorneys on this show, a couple of HR attorneys, and they have the most ridiculous stories. Things like people super gluing their coworkers to toilet seats.
People chasing somebody around the office with a pair of scissors.
Yeah. That happened. Yeah. Showing up in like ridiculous costumes.
The Avatar costume.
The Avatar costume, like,
And that's an HR issue?
Well, it was an HR issue because it was a stripper version of an Avatar costume, and she did the whole dance.
She did the whole dance at the office.
So
encouraged by her coworkers, who were mostly men, apparently. And then somebody was like, "This isn't cool. We should really like cut this out." And that person reported it to HR or
I guess so, yeah.
I can't remember if this company
because that wasn't the funny part of the story. I don't remember
it. Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't the, it was a violation of the
Dress code.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But I'm wondering if you have any funny divorce stories because people just ask for ridiculous things or they act probably not so great, I'm sure, and when they're going through some of the worst things that they've ever been through, right? We
like to say that it's adults behaving badly. And the people that, there's a lot of stories about, people acting badly towards one another.
Right.
And fighting about things that they, the biggest fights are from the people that don't really have anything to fight about because they're just so embittered and emotional about the breakup. They're just not having an easy time letting go. But a couple funny ones, I guess, would be, I did the one and only dog trial in Hunterdon County about
Wow.
7
Rover
years.
versus
Oh my gosh.
Dachshund.
So yeah, the husband would refuse to let the wife take the dogs that were hers, 2 Chihuahuas. And in New Jersey, dogs are considered personal property. So we had a mini trial on just that one issue. We settled everything else. And we had to decide, the judge had to decide who got the dogs and as the personal property. Like, it's like arguing over a set of dishes.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was so nice at the end because we won the dog trial and she got possession of the dogs, and then he was forced to bring the dogs to my office, and we had her in our conference room, and there was this reunification. It was like, her baby. She got to see her.
Wow.
Yeah, so I know what that feels like because I'm very attached to my dogs. Yeah. And then there was another, I don't want to give away too many of my secrets, but we've had some interesting sort of sexual proclivities that we've encountered in the course of representing some of our people. One was a fellow who was really upset that his wife wanted to divorce him because he was the submissive in the relationship, and he now had to find like a new dominatrix to.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So it's not just like finding a new partner, but it's a very specific need that needs to be
I'm
met.
sure there's websites for that.
I mean,
Come on, they got the one for farmers. Like everything has a website.
Farmers?
That's true.
Yeah, you didn't see the one?
Dating,
Like,
yes.
the reason I remember this is because the jingle for it is like, you don't have to be lonely anymore. And I'm like, are farmers just inherently lonely? That's so sad. It makes me, but yeah, they have a website for anything now.
Okay. That's probably true. That makes sense.
But it didn't have anything to do at all with his divorce. It was just an interesting, humorous.
You didn't need to know anything about it, but he felt the need to tell you anyway.
So we've had people argue about the sex toy collection and, who gets it.
Oh my God!
How are we going to distribute this, or the porn collection,
I can't.
the videos.
I feel like that's the sort of thing you just buy new.
Yeah.
No amount of washing,
Yeah. So, I mean, people that are embittered, it's not really because it's valuable. It's just, it's just a pride. It's pride.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like when you're in that position, you make really bad decisions out of pride or out of hurt or, out of vindictiveness.
I think if you're the one being divorced and you don't want to be divorced, then there's a chance that you're going to act out. And I try to help people that come in. Well, I try to decide or help them decipher, are they the one being left or are they the one doing the leaving? Because if they're the ones doing the leaving, they've done a lot of emotional work to get to that point. And then you have to kind of evaluate, well, where is your spouse if you're the one doing the leaving? Are they in the same emotional place you are? And if they're not, then are you willing to give them a sort of a chance to catch up to you? Because even people that live in the same house, the same experience is going on for both of them, but their perceptions of that experience is completely divergent, and one could be miserable and the other one is just fine with the status quo. And so even though there's a miserable person, in the same house as you, they see things completely different than the person who sees it as just acceptable.
Right.
And so you want to try to see if you can give them a chance to catch up. If you can. Some people aren't willing to wait, but those are the best divorces where people are sort of both resigned to accept that it's over and they've come to terms with it. But when one person is not accepting and one person is, gung-ho, I've got to get out, that's where you get this sort of disconnect of strategies and positions people take and, what people hold on to. So I can't have you, but I'll take the artwork on the wall because you won't stay. Okay, I know you love that painting, so I'll get that instead. Or, unfortunately people use the kids a lot of times as a tool to, cause harm to the other parent. But yeah, so, I mean, it's not all like that. Those are rare situations, for the most part. People resolve their disputes by agreement. We settle 99% of all the cases we take without going to trial. So we're very good at getting people to kind of meet in the middle. My dad always used to ask me if I won in court. Every time I would see him, did I win? And I would tell him that everybody loses in divorce. And there's no winners. And the best settlement is where, each party leaves the settlement table equally unhappy. You know, so if you're both a little miserable at the end of the process, it's probably a good thing.
It's the best kind of
I didn't know you
compromise.
could take divorce to trial.
Yeah.
How does that work? Is it just like, you know, if one person doesn't want to get divorced at all and they're like holding out, you go to trial, or?
Yeah, they're rare. Trials in divorce are rare. In 32 years, I've tried 4 cases. 2 of them settled during the trial, and 2 went to judgment, so a judge actually had to call it. But they are disputes that are unresolvable because of really just personalities. So it's just a question of who gets what. And if you can't accept who's taking what out of the marriage, then the judge has to decide for you who's taking what out of the marriage. Or, for example, custody. If somebody, you know, I have a case going on, a woman wants to relocate out west with her child, and the father doesn't want that to happen. So that'll probably either go to trial or, you know, we're going to have to get a best interest evaluation to see what an expert says if the child should leave the state. So those kinds of cases sometimes, you know, they do go to trial, but it's pretty rare. And it's a bench trial, meaning it's just a judge. There's no jury. So, but we do a lot of mini trials where there's one little narrow issue that gets what we call adjudicated.
Okay.
You know, domestic violence can be within that umbrella.
How did you decide family law was going to be your thing? Like, it's such an interesting.
If family law found me, so I was a real estate attorney for a big law firm in Baltimore. I went to college and law school in Baltimore. I grew up in Jersey, though, in Somerset County, a big family, and I had to get out of that house when I was a kid. There was too many people. They were all crazy making Italians. They liked to yell and scream. So I just was like, I'm out of here. And my first law job was as a real estate attorney doing commercial real estate shopping centers and big housing developments. I got married. I had a baby. I got divorced, and I was still in Baltimore, so I decided to come back to Jersey. My sister was here, and she wanted me to come home. My brother wanted me to come home. Had a support network. I had my sister. She helped me watch my baby at the time, and I hung out my shingle. My brother owned commercial property in Edison, and he said, I'll give you rent free for a year in these 2 adjoining offices. And so I came home, printed my own business cards at State, you know, the Staples, you go to Staples, the ones that are perforated.
Yep.
And I cold called real estate agencies, and I made these brochures, and I started doing residential real estate transactions for real estate companies. And my girlfriend from when I was a kid asked me to do her friend's divorce. And I said, sure, I'll do divorce. I didn't know what I was doing. So I drove over to New Brunswick to the law center where the law bookstore was for lawyers, and I bought the book with this
Divorce
floppy
for Dummies.
Divorce for Dummies.
Wow.
With the floppy disk, not even the the little one, but remember the big one with the hole in it?
I do.
Had the forms, the litigation forms,
Right.
And I started doing divorces, and then I befriended the executive director of the domestic violence agency in Hunterdon County. It used to be called Women's Crisis Services. It's now called SAFE in Hunterdon, but this is going back 20-some years ago. And they didn't have a legal advocate on staff, so I became their legal advocate, and I taught myself how to represent victims of domestic violence, and I got a stipend from the State of New Jersey Legal Services Corporation. I got $400 per case, whether the case took 5 minutes or 5 days. And so I became sort of like the local expert in domestic violence, representing victims, and it suited my personality representing people in family situations. Yeah. I like talking to people. I'm a good problem solver. I'm good at thinking creatively to solve, issues. There's always sort of a way to resolve something. I'm good at getting people to kind of like, will you do this if they do that? And it just worked out, and it's something that was natural and easy for me to do. And then, 32 years later, here I am.
That's amazing.
And now all we do is family law. I would say for the past 10 years, that's all I've done.
Do you still have a relationship?
Best book ever, right?
Best book ever. Do you still have the relationship with Hunterdon and helping victims of domestic violence?
Yes, we are volunteer attorneys for them. They do have a legal advocate on staff, but we do take pro bono assignments from them. We also have relationships with other surrounding counties, with Mercer County, the women's space. We're starting to work with them. They actually didn't even have a referral system set up for their victims, and they didn't have anybody helping. We're going to help them start that program. We do a lot for my associate, Carolyn Hand, just finished a 4-day domestic violence trial in Morris County on a pro bono basis for their domestic violence agency, which is JBWS, Jersey. It used to be called Jersey Battered Women's Services, but now it's just the acronym, JBWS. So we do that. We still do that, yeah. It's near and dear to my heart. I mean, those are people that really need help. So the community's been so good to us, so we really feel strongly about giving back.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
Good.
And
it's good stuff.
Now that you make me think of it, you are the chair of the Morris County BW Nice, right?
That's right.
You want to talk about that a little?
Sure,
Go
I'd be
ahead.
happy to.
Okay, go
Appreciate
for it.
it. Yeah, so BW Nice stands for Business Women Networking Involving Charity and Education. So this organization provides networking and educational opportunities for women business owners, but with the charitable aspect to it. So we hold these monthly networking events for women business owners, and then throughout the year we hold at least one, sometimes two events where we raise money for the local domestic violence agency. So I'm running a chapter in Morris County. I also sit on the board of trustees of the parent organization that manages all the chapters. So there's chapters all over the state. So it's the first Thursday of the month. It meets at the Park Avenue Club, although July is going to be July 11th because the 4th is the first Thursday.
Right.
So we pushed it a week. So other than that, so you can go on the website, register. I know that you come to the meetings.
I do. Yeah, I'm a new member as well, but I didn't really know enough about it, but I loved that there's the charity aspect of it, but also like it's a networking event. Like there's the 30-second introductions, there's a spotlight speaker,
Yep.
We take seriously the business of doing business, and the parent organization is the membership, and then there's a chapter in every county, and you can attend as many.
That's right. If you're a member, you can attend any chapter.
It's amazing.
So I think there's 9 of them in New Jersey. So for somebody like you that's always looking for sponsors for the NJBIA, it's a great opportunity to mix and mingle with other business owners.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, the charitable aspect is just something that you can really get passionate about. I mean, people want something more than just spending their networking dollars on, meet and greets, and this has that aspect to it really resonates with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, with the statistics the way they are with people that have been sexually assaulted or in some sort of domestic violence situation, it's so common. I would say if you personally, like the 3 of us at this table, have not been personally affected, at least one person who has been personally affected by domestic violence and sexual assault is so common.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like mental illness. We don't talk about it.
It's true.
We don't. There's a stigma still associated with being a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
All right, and we'll be right back. And we're back, and it is now time to play my favorite game, Awful or Awesome. I'm going to name 3 things, and we have to each quickly decide if they're awful or awesome and be prepared to defend your answers. Ready? You're just amused by the whole concept, aren't you?
You didn't warn me about it.
You've seen an episode. All right, first up, the Bill and Ted reboot.
Awful.
Oh.
I was not expecting that.
Hit me right in the heart.
Wow.
All right, explain it.
Why?
Yeah,
How?
lay it on the
Why?
Isn't
table.
one excellent adventure enough?
Yes.
Well,
First of all, it wasn't because Bogus Journey is a far
Bogus Journey
superior
exists, so obviously not.
film. It doesn't just exist; it's a far superior film, and I don't say that about sequels often. But Bogus Journey is the stuff that dreams are made out of. Okay.
I don't know if I would go that far,
Yeah.
but
I'm assuming both of you are on the awesome columns.
I'm sorry, but yeah.
I'll be closer to awesome. Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Maybe as I do that, I could get a
I
sound
was
effect.
totally just gonna say that. You should totally lift that from wherever it exists on the internet. Drop it in. Yeah, I loved it when it was, when I watched it when I was a child.
You guys planned that.
We totally did not.
I didn't know that you were going to be awful. Yeah, she
Yeah.
told me that this was coming up. Yeah. But
Wow.
no, I mean, I've only seen the first one maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but I've seen the second one a couple hundred times.
Oh my god.
How? Do you
For
own it?
serious?
Yeah, I own them both, but they come in a box set. But
I need to borrow them.
sure.
obviously, FYI.
What?
Is there
Have you not seen 2?
Is it coming out again?
time ago.
Another?
They're rebooting it, so there's going to be a third film with Keanu and Alex Winters.
Yeah.
And I don't know the plot at all, but I am on board.
I know the plot. I mean,
What's the
do you want me to
plot?
like tease the plot?
Totally.
All right. So
Obviously.
if you recall, the first 2 movies like are kind of about the fact that the 2 of them one day will write some song that unites the world.
Oh, yeah.
And there's always some kind of like thing threatening them, so that then the future is in jeopardy, because if they die, then they'll never write the song that unites the world.
I remember
this
now.
movie. They're like, however old they are in real life, 50. You know,
Gotta be.
they haven't written the song yet. And so, you know, they've got to, like, figure that out, because, you know, how hard it's got to be really hard, especially now that, like, our interests are so splintered across everywhere. It's not like the 80s where somebody wrote, like, Never Gonna Give You Up. Like, you know, that was it. Everybody was on board.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so they gotta make it happen. And the clock's apparently ticking, because if they don't, and, you know, one day or whatever it is, then the world's going to end. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm on board. I want to see it. I hope they bring back Death, because he was awesome in Bogus Journey.
He was my favorite character in that movie.
Yeah.
I still know that one
That's a
line.
plot I
from
could
the rap.
pass on.
Oh, man.
Ugh, you're killing me.
You know, the depiction of hell in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is probably the scariest depiction of hell I've ever seen. And that includes the Hellraiser films. Like, you know, because...
Do you want to remind us what the depiction of hell?
Yeah, it was just whatever, like, the scariest, most anxiety-driven thing for you is. So, like, one of them was, they would go from room to room, and in every room there was something that would just, you know, be mind-bogglingly terrifying to you. So, one of them was, like, the kid, Bill was like 6 years old, and there was a big party, and his grandmother was like trying to kiss him on the cheek, and it was, you know,
I
like,
remember that.
and that just gave him so much anxiety, and you know, it was like that kind of stuff that like it just gets right under your skin, but it's not like you're being physically tortured or anything. You know, that's terrifying.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I'll
and
go
you're
see
still
it.
an awful. You're still an awful.
Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. We forgive you.
I'll try to do better in the
I mean,
next
it'll
number
be a
2.
shame if the movie comes out and it's terrible, and you know, we were like, yeah, awesome, you know, but yeah, I
Rosanne
hope
was
not.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Should have just left it alone.
All right, the second one is clowns.
You know, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why am I going first?
Oh,
on this?
okay.
I could go first.
Wait,
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are scared of clowns. I don't get it.
I don't either.
I've never understood the clown fear thing.
Me neither.
I guess I didn't have a problem with clowns growing up.
Me neither.
Clowns
They're
are
fine.
specifically
Yeah.
like people who dress up and try to entertain you, and you know, make you balloons that look like dogs and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm neutral to clowns.
So I was gonna say that too, but then I thought, like, in a perfect world where a clown's only job is to like juggle and make you laugh and smile and happy, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, their whole job is to put on face paint that looks silly and to dress up in a funny hat and like just make you happy. That they're awesome.
I think part of it, I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of horror movies. I've never actually seen a horror movie about an evil clown. And, you know, I'm going to temper this because I know It is going to be the first thing that people throw out there. It was not a clown. It was an alien that shapeshifted into whatever.
I did not know that because I steer clear of all
that
horror.
might be considered a spoiler, but I think not. Because you know from the trailer it's something that can shapeshift, and, you know, it's not like...
Do you know from the trailer that
Yeah,
it's-
because I mean, like, it does, like, shape-shifty things. Like, it's not always like that clown, but
right.
it's an alien, and, you know, it's... So, when you watch that, I don't really get what it is about a clown that
That's
scares
scary.
people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand where that fear comes from and what fuels it. We should write a movie. It should be, like, the definitive killer clown movie. We'll have to understand what it is about, like, clowns that make people scared first, but, yeah.
As someone who does not want anything to do with horror movies,
Yeah, but
I
it could be
think
like
I'm not the
Other
right
People's
person.
Business Presents the scariest clown movie ever.
Well, maybe it's something to do with assumption of an alter ego. I don't know.
Maybe.
What is it that makes people afraid of clowns?
I don't know.
But you know how some kids, you ever see those masks like Phantom of the Opera that just come like right here?
Yeah.
I had one of those masks on at Halloween once, and the only thing else I had on was a cloak. And I've got to tell you, the kids were deathly afraid of me. Oh, and I never said anything to them. I just stood there. But it was because I don't know what it did to my face. But maybe there's something about that distortion of your face.
You're behind a mask, whether it's paint or a physical mask, maybe. Yeah.
But I guess that in that sense, anything disguising your identity or hiding your identity
Is scary.
wouldn't have to necessarily be a clown. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I always think of the clown corner on The Good Place.
Yes.
Number 2. Did you watch The Good Place?
Is that the people that died and they all live in the neighborhood? I watched a couple episodes
That show
of
is
that.
brilliant.
I just couldn't.
Okay, that's fair. But in her new house, her apartment, there's a clown corner.
Well, isn't the whole house clowns?
Not the whole house. I mean, the bedroom screen is a big clown, and it's got that weird, freaky music whenever it closes. But there's a corner of her house that's just got like a couple of benches, and it's where 2 walls meet, and the walls are covered in pictures of clowns. And they put that in there because it's, spoiler alert, actually hell that they're in, and clowns are inherently
We did say that we would never spoil anything like 3 years or younger on the show, but I guess the show's been on for more than 3 years now, right?
I forgot about that rule, so I hope I haven't broken it.
Yeah, I'd say you're but like by now,
if you're not watching that show, you're not watching that show.
But you should totally watch that show.
should
if you're
totally
not
watch
watching.
that
It's
show.
brilliant. It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Just the fact that it's so passive aggressive, like they're actually in hell, but they don't know it.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
Even though there are all these clues in retrospect.
Yeah, because when she arrives in the house, like the whole house is clown themed, and she hates clowns. She's totally scared of clowns. But like they make it seem like it was done for her benefit. Like, oh, because they think she's somebody else, or at least that's what they're telling her. And the person who they think she is loves clowns. So we made you this house with all these clowns because we wanted you to feel at home. And really, they're messing with her. They know that she hates clowns.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, what do you think about the Good Omen? The Good
Omens. Loved it. Loved it.
It's a good show.
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, I loved it so much I watched it twice so far.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I can do these sort of epic battles between good and evil.
I don't know that that's what that show is. Maybe yet, at least. I don't know. I actually didn't...
Isn't it like the angel and the devil?
Not necessarily
Not
like
quite.
the
There's
devil.
an angel and there's a demon. And the demon is just a fallen angel. And so there's a lot of back and forth about what he did, and he kind of basically regrets it because life is way worse where he is, and his whole job is to, create dysfunction and distortion and difficulty for human beings. And he befriends this angel at the Garden of Eden, basically. And they start to talk, and they start to run into each other throughout history. So that they run into each other in Roman times, then they run into each other in the French Revolution, and they're always helping each other to get out of a scrape or a problem. And then they end up becoming best friends, this angel and this demon.
Because who else you got, Yeah.
Right, who else do you have? And then concurrently, the Antichrist has been born, and the devils need to switch babies with the human child so that the Antichrist can grow up with humans so that it can be ready, so that it learns our ways. But accidentally, a third woman goes into labor a week early, and so there's 3 babies, and the wrong baby goes home with the wrong family, and so they lose the Antichrist. They literally can't find him where he's supposed to be. It's great. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
I think what I liked about it was
And
that they were...
so the Antichrist is with some other family and they don't know where.
Correct.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No,
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, maybe I'll check it out.
It's funny. It's really clever and funny. And it's a feast for the eyes. Watching it is so fun. The clothing, the hair, it's beautifully done. Yeah, the artistry is great.
Yeah. Television has gotten a lot better, hasn't it?
Yes.
there's a lot more competition for your subscription dollars and everything. They have to up the ante.
Yeah, totally.
I completely stopped wating regular television.
Me too. I don't even have a cable account anymore. Just
The
Yeah,
only
definitely
reason we
complicated.
have is because of the old ladies that live in our house. Another story for another.
Okay. All right, so I think that was clowns. Next, last.
I forgot we were even on clowns.
I know. Sorry. That's why I have the script. I noticed your script is absent.
Yeah, I'm going to go with awesome, I guess. I like clowns.
Clowns are great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my script, you were going to give me crap for throwing the script away.
I noticed you don't have a script. I'm just saying.
You just got to play loose,
Okay.
So far, I've only made the 2 mistakes, and it was the pronunciation of DeGeorge.
Nope.
DeGeorge.
So close.
I made my 3rd mistake.
Not pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Axe throwing craze.
There's an axe throwing
The
craze.
axe. Yeah, I said axe. It's supposed to be the axe throwing craze. Are you familiar with these? Yeah.
These places that you can go and throw your axe at a target.
Yeah. There's one by me called the Hatchet House, I think. And there's drinking involved,
That
which
sounds irresponsible.
seems really like a bad idea.
I can't believe they allow you to drink there.
Maybe I misunderstood that part, but
She's like, maybe we just brought alcohol in and we
BYO.
had axes, so nobody wanted to tell us no.
Seriously.
Clever and I mean, I'm neutral. I mean, so what? Who cares?
Think it's okay to throw axes?
Yeah, somebody came up with a great idea to make money, get people in. You can pay $20. You could throw an axe at this target with you and your friends. So it's like batting cages.
Right, it is. But somebody could actually die with
Yeah, but
it.
so you could die doing anything, like batting cages.
Yeah, I guess you could take a ball to the head.
But I mean, not
Or bat
throwing
to the
them at
head.
each other.
But I mean, that would just hurt a lot. I guess if you took an axe to the head, that would be a different scenario.
Imagine if you accidentally dropped the axe and it landed on your foot and then...
Yeah, I was just
Sure,
thinking,
they
especially when you talk about alcohol being involved, if you're just like uncoordinated.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they make you sign a nice waiver.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Waiver.
But I mean, like, it had to be like the first time somebody started playing darts in like a bar. Somebody was like, "Yo, this is a bad idea."
We
Now
need
it's
to get
just
the
done.
tables and chairs away from this area.
Isn't it a segue from Game of Thrones and all of that kind of
I'm sure.
that theme of television? Because then there was the Game of Thrones, and then my mother was watching this. I swear it was soft-core porn. Like, what was that? The guy who went
can't
back
wait.
to Scotland.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, Outlander!
That, and I'm watching it with her one day. I'm like, Mom, holy cow!
I love it.
She
Is it,
was
like, what is
titillating.
it?
I've never seen it. I tried to read the books and I didn't like them, so I've never gotten.
Please.
Really?
She's titillated my 91-year-old mother. She can't not watch it. Oh yeah, she loves him. What's his name?
Jamie is his name. I don't know what her
And
name is.
then there was
I forgot.
another one.
You're
called
losing your mind over there.
The Last Kingdom. So it's all of this same genre, which axe throwing. Sure, why not? It's part of all of that,
Yeah. I think you're right. That primitive, like,
Yeah.
meet life where it's at kind of mentality. I guess.
I don't know. We had Ginny Marino on this show from the Girl Scouts, and she was saying that she was training, not she personally, the Girl Scouts were training the young girls how to throw the tomahawks and throw the axes, and it's like,
Why not?
I mean, under that kind of scenario, we have adults responsibly overlooking it, like we're training the proper way to do it.
Right.
But like I imagine that when you get together with your friends and just, start passing around some axes and some margaritas, like you don't have the proper training, you don't have the oversight from the adults,
That is the perfect name for the business. Axes and margaritas.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's patent it right now before we put this video on the internet.
I love it.
Yeah.
We totally need to do that. Oh my god.
All right.
All right, so I think that's the game.
Sure. Wait, was I off? I'm going to go with awful on this, actually.
Yeah, me too. I said awful.
Yeah, okay. So, our next thing is if you had one piece of advice you could give to your younger self, what would it be?
If I had one piece of advice I could give to my younger self is to not worry so much about what's going to happen next.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a worrier. And I think that's really weighed me down in some ways. But I think when you're growing up, it would be nice for my younger self to have known that everything was going to be okay. Not worry so much.
Everybody always says that, but then, like, what happens if it's really not?
How?
Some
But
sad-
how
How is-
dark.
But it's always okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It always is kind of fun.
No matter what happens, it's always okay.
Okay.
Is it never not okay? Like
No, but I mean, like, bad things happen to people. Like, we live in a world where that happens.
Yes.
I don't want to come up with any specifics, but, like...
Okay, so like the last couple of years of my life have been a little tumultuous. And one of the things that kind of got me through was this mantra that everything is temporary. Like no matter how hard things are, or how good things are, everything's temporary. So enjoy it when it's good and, take a deep breath and keep going when it's bad. And just know that it'll all be fine in the end. Everything's temporary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying everything is good always. Maybe a better way to say it is not to worry about things you can't control
Okay.
or outcomes. So I've grown up and become a person that likes to know what's going to happen next. And so I wish I had known earlier on that the outcomes and consequences of life are out of my control. Or maybe I knew it intellectually, but it wasn't in here. And so I tried to steer circumstances, always trying to manage circumstances so that I get an outcome that I want or a result that I want, instead of just doing the best that I can and let the consequence or the result or the outcome just be what it is.
Yeah. You know that phrase, comparison is the thief of joy?
Yes.
I like to say that worry is the thief of joy.
Yeah, exactly.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Because worry doesn't accomplish anything except ruin your right now.
That's right. Yeah. And I think it comes from just being a perfectionist and wanting to, there's a fear associated with not knowing what's going to happen next. So that basic fear. So I grew up in this huge family. And so I think by the time my parents got to me, I was just sort of like, oh, you're a good student. You don't need any help. Okay, go, be, And so there wasn't a lot of, nurturing, and my experience of the world wasn't really modified or coached. You know what I mean? Like, do you have kids? Well,
No.
you have an adorable 2-year-old.
Yes.
So, like you coach a child, about their experience. So when I would have experiences, there wasn't really, even though there was all these people around, they were all like crazy making people, nobody kind of explaining to me what I was experiencing. So as an adult, that's been one of my greatest struggles, is to let go of worry. Let go of worry about things that I can't control. And so I think that comes from just, having that coaching as a child, the outcomes are out of your hands and just do what you can.
Okay.
What about you?
We never thought about this.
Yeah, nobody's ever asked us.
Huh?
What would you...
We don't put the guest on the spot with this question. We tell her like an hour in advance. So, yeah, I need some.
You need some time.
Yeah.
I think mine would be to just be nicer to yourself. Like the worry thing.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care, but the worry thing leads to negative self-talk. Because when there is a negative outcome, I can be really, really hard on myself. I am so unforgiving of myself where I am so forgiving of others.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something that I would like to go back and try to be better at. Like,
You're your own worst critic.
Yeah. Like, we all make bad decisions sometimes. We all, make mistakes. We all, I don't know. And there are some mistakes that are really tiny and some mistakes that are really big. But trust the universe. Slow down a little bit. Maybe don't make decisions so quickly, and you'll probably be fine. Right? I think that's what I would say to my younger self.
I think that's good advice.
We'll get me on another episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
You don't want to have the runtime be too long.
Sure. Cop out.
Anything coming up you want to promote?
Well, the BW Nice networking events, they're the first Thursday of every month at the Park Avenue Club in Florham Park.
Okay.
Except for July. That's on the 11th. But otherwise, it's the first Thursday, 8:30 in the morning.
I'll be there.
I would love to see you again there.
Do you have to pre-register? Is there somewhere someone would have to go to do that?
You can register at the door, but you can pre-register. You just go to bwnice.org and search for the Morris County chapter, and you'll find us there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. Say, somebody is loading up the dishwasher and expecting their significant other to take care of it, or, not
Every
doing
single time.
every single time, leaving their clothes wherever they want. How does somebody else
in
get a
touch
hold of
with
you for your services?
So they can call us at 908-284-6005, or they can find us online at www.danddfamilylaw.com.
Awesome.
Very cool. You have a great line when you do your 30-second introduction.
Which is, I can help you lose the weight of an unhappy marriage. Like 180 pounds or so.
For the record, you should definitely name the company D&D rather than
DeTorres and DeGeorge.
For some reason, my tongue cannot pronounce this word.
DiGiorno.
DiGiorno. I can do that.
DeTorres and DiGiorno pizza. Top 5 food of all time.
I like it. All right.
Although D&D is a game, so I think that's taken. So, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
We were too concerned about the euphemism about breast size, so we didn't double.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
You can cut
sense.
that part of
That's how geeky I am. That I'm just like, I went right to geeky games.
I did too. I didn't even think about that. That's so funny. All right, I think that's our show. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. We appreciate the support. Thank you to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, the official sponsor of the show. They do home, auto, and workers' comp, so if you need some insurance, check them out. And finally, thank you to Rosanne DeTorres from DeTorres and DeGeorge Family Law. We so appreciate you being here today.
It was really fun. Thanks so much to both of you.
I was really hoping you were going to say it wrong so I could but you totally did it right.
Of course I did it.
You're amazing.
All right, see you next time. Bye.